you sit with the group up here. We're going to be working together today. So, like you can see, our goals today are to understand and use perfect progressive tenses, and to understand the natural order of an English conversation. So I'm going to explain a few things to start off with, and then you're going to get probably, I hope, around 30 minutes of speaking practice. Okay? So, we're talking about the last kind of, the last aspect is the word that we've been using, which is perfect progressive, okay? So this puts two words together that we already know. The first one is perfect, the second is progressive. What is a perfect tense? Tell us. So remember, we talked about this week too. So just ask, I'm just asking, what is a perfect tense?
It's been something the past and just in what we was doing.
Okay, that's the progressive. That's what we talked about yesterday. This is the one that we talked about before that.
I mean to actually in the past.
Okay, good. Okay, so if we were thinking of a perfect tense sentence, we would say something like, I had done my homework before I went to bed. Okay? Good. What about a progressive tense?
Still thinking at the same time?
Sort of. Okay, so it's something that's happening or still going on, so continuing at a specific moment. Okay? So perfect progressive kind of puts those two together, and it doesn't immediately make sense because we've looked at them as two different things. Okay? But you can see here that perfect progressive indicates an action that began before a certain moment, but that is continuing until the moment. Okay, so these are actions that are not finished. Okay, and this is the most common way to use a perfect progressive tense is when you're talking about an amount of time. Okay, what does that mean? An amount of time?
Period.
A period. Very good. I think that's another word that I used in my document here. Okay, so for, what is, go to 3 examples of an amount of time.
Morning.
That's a time of day, not exactly the same thing. Claudia?
I was studying English for 3 months.
Okay, for 3 months. Okay, what's another example of an amount of time?
Summer.
Sorry?
Summer.
That's a time of the year, so I wouldn't say that that's an amount of time. No, so 3 months is one.
Yeah, I've been sorry for 1 week.
1 week.
Hours.
3 hours. Okay, Colin, what's an amount of time?
It was so 3 months.
Okay, for 3 months. Okay, so what we're going to work with here, we're going to just work really quickly. We'll start with the present perfect progressive. That's the one we're going to practice in the first hour. Isa, you play soccer, correct? Okay. So how would we say that in general? That question I just had with Isa, how would we record what happened? I said, Isa, you play soccer. Yes? So Isa
Place.
plays. Very good. Isa plays soccer. Okay? Isa, when did you start to play soccer? So you started to play soccer 5 years ago. Okay? So how would we say what we just found out? Isa? Well, we what about started?
Start.
Started?
Play.
Played?
Since
Not since.
2011.
Okay. Sorry, not since. My fault. You can say one of two things. You can say
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Or since.
Not since, not yet.
Okay.
Or we can say in 2011. Okay? Now, how can we make one sentence that puts these two meanings together?
He has
Instead of he,
Okay,
you
Isa
use
has
this place.
been they so
has been playing.
for 5 years.
Okay. For So again, we're gonna have two options here. You can say 4, 5 years, or
Since 2000.
since 2011. Okay? And so what does this sentence tell us
He was playing
about this?
years and still plays.
Okay, so if we were to make a timeline of this, so we're going to have over here 2016, and over here 2009. Okay, what's it going to look like?
2011.
Kazuki, can you draw what this looks like? Until now. Okay, thank you. And Issa, is this something, will you continue to play soccer in the future? It's okay. Will you keep playing soccer?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible that this continues past now, right? Okay, now, I want to try something a little bit different. So let's see. Sad, do you drink coffee? Okay. When did you start to drink coffee? Okay. That's okay if you don't remember. We can try something else. 2008. Okay. All right. I actually don't know that your example is going to work all that well. Okay. So let's see. Eddie, you study English, right? Okay. I'm gonna erase this. Do you guys want to take a picture because we're gonna look at a different example? Okay, so we're going to have our information. So what I had just asked Ari, how do we record that? Ari, do you study English?
Yes.
What do we say?
Very stuck.
Ari studies English. Okay. Ari, when did you start to study English? Okay, good. So we have Ari started studying English. We say a few years ago, which is fine. Now, Eddie,
Yes.
why did you start studying English?
Because I wanted to speak English.
Okay. Was there any specific reason?
I have. I wanted to make foreign friends.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So we can say Eddie started studying English. Same thing. And we can say when she maybe not wanted, it's a better word, decided to make foreign friends. Okay. So how could we make a sentence about a few different sentences with this with present perfect progressive, the one we just saw? So we have a few different options here. We can have we have Ari has
been
is
studying English.
very good. Not when. So a few different things. What if we just look at this one? A few years ago. Not before, right? Okay, so Arabic speakers, before isn't part of this grammar. Okay, it's ago.
For
Why?
few years.
She has been studying English for a few years. What about with since? We can do since a few years ago. Okay? Or we have one more option with since. which is what?
The specific time.
She decided.
Yes, she decided to
She-
make friend,
Decided
to make.
to make foreign friends.
So what's it mean for like a lot?
Well, Eric, what does foreign mean?
Um,
He's asking what this word that you used, foreign, what does it mean?
abroad friend.
A lot.
No, I'm Japanese. And I have many Japanese friends, but I wanted to make another country friend.
Uh-huh, good. Foreign means from another country. Okay, so for me, all of you are foreign, except for Josh. Well, you were born in Africa, so maybe you're foreign too. And for you, all of you, me and Josh are foreign. Okay? Good. So there are a few different ways to look at it. So she's been studying English for a few years, since a few years ago, or since she decided to make foreign friends. Okay? If we make a timeline of this, what does it look like? So we have 2016 down here. We'll say 2010. And let's just say that a few years means 3, because usually a few means 3 in English. 3 or 4 or somewhere around there. Okay, so what does this look like?
2013.
Okay, so we can say 2013. So what happened in 2013?
She decided to make.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have 2 different things that happened in 2013. One was a simple past moment, which was decided.
Decided to make.
So she decided to make friends. But what else do we have here? Study. Okay, and this one, just like the one that Kosuke drew, went here. And then this is where we say has been studying. And again, Ari, are you going to continue studying English? Good, okay. So it continues past this moment, okay? Does everyone, so what does it mean when we say has been studying or use a perfect progressive tense? What are we talking about?
And the past until now.
From the past
No, finish.
until now, okay, and you'll notice that when we use this, it's always about an amount of time, okay? You'll never use any perfect progressive tense unless you're talking about an amount of time. You'll always have for or since in your sentence, okay? All right, so we're going to do something to practice this now. Again, take a picture. Okay. Now, this is where we get to the second part, okay? We're going to look at the natural order of an English conversation. What does that mean, the natural order of something? Any ideas?
The natural form for speaking.
The natural way of speaking. Very good, Side. Okay, so this is just the way that conversations usually go in English, okay? So let's see, I have somewhere here actually. All right. So, if we're going to look at something, what is something you might ask someone the first time that you meet them? That's not where you would start, I don't think.
Surname.
I have.
Okay, name is obviously first.
Well,
what comes after it? What?
You can say, how are you?
How are you is good, but let's imagine this. If you are in an elevator with someone, and the elevator breaks,
Hi.
and you have your cell phone has no signal, you have to talk to the person, what will you ask them?
You have second.
Where are you from?
Do you have a cell phone? Colin, man, you gotta move past the cell phone. Okay, so we're gonna do good morning, how are you, where are you from, da, 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 da. Okay, but now you're like, I know where you're from, I know how you are. What do you ask someone?
Are you afraid?
You're afraid. Okay, that's good. But what if you just want to find out information about the person?
What's your hobby?
What's your hobby? Okay.
Job.
What's your job? Okay, good. All right, and so, but if you start here, you might start with, but what if you don't know if the person has a job? What do you ask them?
What you do for a living?
But you don't know if they have a job. You don't know if they have a job.
Nothing.
How do you feel? This,
Okay. What about do you have a job?
do you have it?
Right? Okay. So we can start here with how about, let's see, do you work? Okay. And what are the two ways that they can answer this question? There are only two.
Yes.
So we're going to have, but let's start over here. No, what?
I don't.
I
Don't.
don't. Okay. And the other answer over here is going to be
Yes,
I
yes, I
do.
do. Okay? And if they say, do you work? And they say, no, I don't, what can you ask them next? So maybe they don't have a job right now, but that doesn't mean they've never had a job. What can you ask them then?
Do you have a job?
Sorry? Not did you. Remember, it's not a specific time. Have you. Very good. So then we're going to ask, have you
Had the job before?
ever? Or, okay, you can say, have you had or have you ever had? Or, sorry, work. We're using work because have makes this example a little tricky. So have you ever worked? Okay? Now, if they, after have you ever worked, what are the two options? How can they answer this? The same.
I have.
Not exactly the same, but almost the same. No, I haven't.
That I have.
Okay? And if they say, no, I haven't, what question can you ask them?
Do you want
Why-
to ask?
Okay. At this point, we're going to put a big red X, because you have to ask them a new question that's not about working.
Yeah.
Right? Good. Okay. What about, what's the other answer they can give you here?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have. Okay. And then, is there a big red X after this one?
No.
No. You can still go. Okay. What other question can you ask them?
What kind of job you have?
Okay. All right. You can ask something like, where did you work? Okay. What other questions could you ask other than where?
When you start?
When? When? Any other ones?
Why did we say why
Sorry?
we didn't say where do you work?
Because they don't work now. They worked in the past.
What did
Good.
you do?
Good question, son. Yeah.
What did you do?
What did you do? Okay, and we're gonna have other options here. Now we're gonna go over here. What if they say, "Do you work?" Yes, I do. What can you ask them then?
Same.
Where do you work?
You okay? So you can ask them this.
Where do you work?
Where do you work? Okay.
How long?
And very good. Okay, and so if we're talking to Claudia, she would say, "I work at Roche Pharmaceuticals." And what can you ask her after that? This is where we get to our grammar for today. Good.
Did you work?
Not did you, because
Okay,
you still do.
Okay,
How long
How many
have
you work?
you been
Work.
working? Okay. All right. And so and then what answer will you give us for that, Claudia? How long have you been working?
I have work.
I- Well, I have been working.
I have worked at Roche for 9 years.
Wow, that is longer than I thought.
Yeah.
For 9 years. Okay. All right. So, and we're going to jump back over here. So if they say no, I haven't worked, what information do we know now? So we can say he or she,
Didn't.
not didn't,
Sorry, haven't.
hasn't.
Hasn't.
Okay. So you can say for here you're going to say he has never
Worked.
worked. Okay. And what about if you ask where did you work? What answer can we? So let's see. Abdurrahman, do you have a job right now?
No.
No. Okay. But have you worked?
Yes.
Where did you work?
Telecommunication company.
Okay. So and then we can say he what?
Worked.
Worked.
Justification.
In a, we're just going to abbreviate the way we would, telecom company. Okay? So, and here I'm just going to change it just a little bit. So we're reporting information about other people. She has been working for 9 years. All right? So, if we have this conversation, how many possible answers are there? At the end, how many end results are there? Not really. Only 3.
This one.
Only 3. This is one result. This is one result. And this is one result. Okay? This conversation cannot end in any other way. Okay? So, we're going to do some practice. Okay? I have a sheet here. Okay, and so what I would like you to do is to have conversations with different people. You can stay in your groups at least for now, but you can also move around the room and ask different people if you're curious. And these are about different life experiences. There are some on the front, there are more on the back, okay? So we'll just practice the first one together, okay? Let's see, Isa, do you live alone? No? You have roommates? Okay, good. Have you ever lived alone? Only you by yourself in your house?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. When did you live alone?
Before 6 months ago.
Okay, so it was 6 months ago? All right. And so then what would I write about Isa?
He has lived alone. Oh, he has been living alone.
Well, no, because he doesn't now. Okay, so we followed this. Okay, we said, do you live alone? No, I don't. Have you ever lived alone? Yes, I have. When did you live alone? 6 months ago.
He was.
Isa lived alone 6 months ago. Okay. Let's see. What about you, Eddie? Do you live alone? Okay. Have you ever lived alone?
No.
Okay. What do we write?
No, she has.
Eddie has never lived alone.
Yeah, she has.
She has.
Okay, good. Claudia, do you live alone?
Yeah.
Okay. We moved right down here. How long have you lived alone? Or how long have you been living alone?
Maybe for 2 years.
2 years, okay. And what do we write?
She
What do we write? Claudia has been living alone for 2 years. Okay? Alright, and so I want you to take each conversation until you get to the end. Okay? And write down the information you find out. Remember, you're only going to have one of these types of answers, right? That they've never done it, that they did it in the past, okay? Or that they have been doing it for an amount of time. Okay? Actually, Sada, I'm going to draw some arrows on here, so you might want a different picture later. Okay? But do you understand what you're doing? Yes? Okay. Now I'd like you to go ahead and start talking. And
You will keep this one?
yes, this will stay. Right? This is what we're practicing for 25 minutes. Okay?